everybody, welcome to the channel and the video review of the VIFLY R220, the 220mm Brushless FPV racer, bind and fly version with the Fly Sky receiver. So let's go ahead and open up the box, check this baby out. Here we have the instruction manual. We have a little bag of foam landing pads, some Velcro tabs, and some Allen screws and some screws here. And we have a bag of Dell 5045 bullnose props, dual bladed. And we have some more props here. These came in a bag as well. I've already used it, so that's why they're out of the bag, but they give you 2 sets of props. And here is the quadcopter here. It is nicely packed. And there you have it, guys. That is the VIFLY R220. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at this bad boy here. All right, here is the VIFLY R220. It is the bigger brother of the R130, which I have done a review just recently. So you can go check that baby out. I'll leave a link down below for that review. It is the carbon fiber sandwich design as well, and with the top and the bottom plate sandwiching all of the components right inside, and it is very, very well a protected design, I have to say. Here are the motors. They are also protected and they are recessed into the arms. They are the 2205 2600 kV motors, and the ESCs that we are given is the BL S 25 amp D-Shot ESCs, which support 3 to 4S batteries, so that is fantastic. And it has 30 amp burst power. And the flight controller is the Omnibus F4 flight controller with Betaflight OSD built in. And the camera here is the 700 TV line CMOS camera, and it has a field of view of 120 degrees, and it is housed in this rubber housing, which allows it to tilt, but you don't have any adjustment to tighten up that tilt. So, but it stays pretty relatively still. I don't think this gives off any jello. I was running it with some double-sided props that it came with, and it was giving us a little bit of jello. And once I switched over to the tri-bladed props, I used some Racer Star tri-bladed props for a couple of the flights, and that kind of subsided most of the jello. So this mount here for the camera is doing a pretty good job. And it is hooked up to a VTX that is a 5.8 gigahertz, 25, 200, and 500 milliwatt switchable VTX. And we are provided with this omnidirectional mushroom antenna in the back. And here is some LED display which displays the current frequency and channel, as well as it will display the power output of the VTX while you are in the process of changing the power output. And here is the XT60 plug right in the front here, and we also have some LED lights right up in the front here. There's 6 to be exact on each of the arms in the front, and the ones in the front are clear LED lights, and we do have 4 LED lights in the back. I believe those 2 are blue and these 2 are red, and we do have these receiver antennas sticking out the back, so that is just awesome. There's some ports on this baby here. There's some rear port. This supports a DVR or a GPS unit, and we also have another port on the side, and this also supports a GPS unit or LED light support. And we also have the micro SD USB port right there on the side, just like the R130. We have the bind button for your receiver, and we have the button to change the channels and frequency, as well as the power output of the VTX. Now, here is a mount right on the top. It houses the battery, and it is very well protected. I believe this thing is made out of steel. And on the top, we have some holes here. You can mount your GoPro mount right on top. So you can add your GoPro right on the top, which will make it very, very top heavy. But we are given the choice of mounting your GoPro right on the top. And without anything attached to the quadcopter, without even the props, it comes in at 453 grams. Alright, so I'll be using my FlySky FSI6 radio for this quadcopter, and what you need to do is set up a model and turn the baby off. And what you want to do is go to the quadcopter, hit that bind button, and power up the quadcopter at the same time. It'll send the receiver inside of the quadcopter in a binding mode, and at which time you're going to hit this bind button and turn on the radio at the same time, and that should bind it successfully with no problem. But what you need to do inside of the radio is go into your system and make sure that you are set up in the RX setup as AFHDS2A. And what you also need to do is go into the PPM output, get in there and turn on the receiver PPM output to the on position, and that will work with this quadcopter. Okay, I've already taken this baby out for a test flight already this morning, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of that footage. Alright, here we go with our first test flight of the VIFLY R220. Everything is bound and ready to go, so let's go ahead and check this baby out. Arming it. As you can see, the lights in the back now has the blue light on. If I disarm it, the blue light turns off and just the red one stays on. And in the front we have white LED lights, very bright. And there we go. The LCD display is displaying our channels and the voltage, and we are good to go. All right, let's do a hover test. I have not hovered it in the house yet, so this is my very first hover test. We are using the stock double-sided props. It seems to be doing pretty good. There is about a 10 miles per hour wind today, but this thing is so heavy it does not even feel the wind. Seems to be very stable. It doesn't have the lift upon throttle up. It just kind of gradually lifts up. Okay, there you go. Let me just get a feel for this baby here. Seems to be very similar to the younger brother, the R130. Okay, let's do a little punch out. And I do have a 4S battery installed. That is the full throttle punch out. So with those double bladed props, it doesn't have the oomph. It just kind of gradually lifts up. Nice, nice. Very smooth. Hey, very nice. So very easy to tell the orientation on this baby here because of those LED lights. Yep. And the VTX antenna kind of gives it away too. So that is really nice. And the shape of the quadcopter as well. Yeah, very easy to distinguish. So very, very nice. All right. It does have the stability and it is very smooth. And I'm running the stock PIDs that it came with. So let me go ahead and test out the acro. Flicking over to acro. And there we go. All right, a little bit sensitive on the acro. Okay, let me get the feel for it here. Try to hover and stabilize myself. Like I said, there is a bit of a wind too, so. Okay, my first flip on acro, and let me bring it back over here. Let me flick it back to stability mode and bring it back. There is a wind just blowing it away. So there we go. Flicking over to acro one more time, and one more little flip. Okay. All right. Not bad, not bad. Yep, just got to get the feel for it, and it is pretty stable. There we go. I'm getting the hang of it now. Okay, not bad. Very stable. Nice. All right. Flicking it back to stability mode and do one more punch out. There you go. Full throttle punch out. This thing is built so heavy. I think if you crash it, you will not break much of anything, just about. The motors are protected. You know, you might break the blades, maybe you might break the antenna, and if you hit something square in the front, you might break the FPV camera. But this thing is made so solid, it's gonna last for a while. Yeah, great for beginners, actually. Yeah, not bad, not bad. So let's go ahead and bring it down and do a little FPV flight with this baby here. Nice. All right, here we are. We are just about ready to go with the VIFLY R220. Arming it. And let's check this baby out. Okay, looking good so far. I can feel that it is a little bit on the heavy side here. And there is still that 10 miles per hour breeze. But it's not playing a big role. But as you can see, it is blowing it a little bit here. There's a slight bit of jello, just a tiny bit of vibrations coming off of the camera. But other than that, so far it is doing fantastic. My battery level just went down to 14.5, so I'm just cruising over here. So this thing sucks up the battery or what, or my battery might be not good enough. Okay, looks good. All right. So far it is feeling pretty solid, like a brick. You just get a feel for it here. Okay, that was a flip. It's got pretty fast rates. You know, this could be a very good beginner quadcopter to learn acro because it's so solidly built. I mean, you're not going to break this thing even if you crash land. Nothing's going to break except the props and maybe the VTX antenna there. Very solid, very smooth. Yeah, I can feel that it is very heavy. And we are down to 14 volts, so it does suck up the juice rather quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and land it and change out the battery and test it out some more. All right, testing out this baby one more time. Got a new battery installed. So let's go for our second FPV flight. Okay, it's okay. Feels like it is rather heavy, so you're gonna have to be careful with that. It's not the light and agile racer, so this is more like a nice beginner. Hey, able to do some roll, so that is good. Not bad. Yeah, it does rather drop to the ground fast, so you're gonna have to compensate by throttling up, and it sucks up the juice like crazy. Look at that. I'm already down to 14 volts on this baby here. Wow. Yeah, this is a juice sucker with the double-bladed props. Maybe because of the double-bladed props, it is not as efficient as it could be. So maybe we need to slap on some tri-bladed props and see how that works out. So the voltage slowly climbed back up to 14.7. So it is not the highly maneuverable acrobatic quadcopter that you want because of the weight. So this is a very good beginner acro flyer to practice a little bit, and more like a cruiser because of the weight and the sheer mass of this thing. The sandwiched construction and everything is so nicely packed, so you are not able to really break the arms off of it. You're just going to break the props and perhaps the VTX antenna. So that is just about it. Yeah, very nice actually. It does have fast rates for the rolls and stuff, preset PIDs that I'm running here, and it's not bad. I guess you could do a little bit of tweaking to make it more stable. It does drift a little bit, and that's possibly due to the amount of wind that we are having this morning as well. Well, like I said, we got about 10 miles per hour winds going on, but this thing is so massive, dense, that it doesn't really feel it, but still it does get pushed around in the wind. So not the very best acrobatic flyer, but a cruiser in my opinion. Yeah, very nice cruiser, pretty decent. There is however a little bit of jello that I'm noticing here and there. So yeah, we are down to 14.4, so it's almost time to bring it in, and I can kind of feel that I need to throttle up a little bit more, so it is getting a little bit sluggish. So let's go ahead and bring this baby in for a landing. Very good controls though, very stable in this wind. You know, there, the wind is kind of making it drift a little bit, so there we go. Whoa! Yeah, I tried to turn off the on and off switch before on the last flight, and I kind of hit the throttle at the same time, so be careful with that. All right, here we go once again, and this time around we got the tri-bladed props. So let's check it out with some Racer Star tri-bladed props. All right, arming. Okay, is it just me or did the jello disappear? Yeah, I believe the jello just disappeared on us. So these tri-bladed props are a lot more stable than the double-bladed bullnose props that we were given. Man, but this thing just sucks up the juice like crazy. Yeah, we are already down to 14.3. So wow. So this baby here is more of a cruiser than an acro flyer. A good stability. Well, there's a tiny bit of jello I'm noticing now. A good stability quadcopter for beginners to learn how to fly. Because you can land this thing and probably nothing's going to break except the props. So all of the circuitry and internals are very well protected in that sandwich. And you got that big metal housing to protect the battery and the top. So it's just an amazing quadcopter for thrashing around. Yeah, and I don't think you're going to break those arms off anytime soon. So, and the VTX seems to be very good. We got good video feed, and I got it set to 500 milliwatts. It is switchable, and I believe it's, what is it, 100, 200, and 500? If I'm not mistaken. I have to recheck and double check on that. But just from memory, I believe it is. It's got good controls. Very stable. And with this tri-bladed props, it is a little bit better handling than the double-bladed props. But it is heavy. And I'm not able to do any kind of maneuvers, like big acro maneuvers, because it sucks the juice down. But you are able to practice your flips. And a little bit of turns. There's a little bit of oscillations right there. A very nice cruiser, in my opinion. I put a nice action cam on the top, like a GoPro. This thing has a nice heavy-duty metal GoPro mount on the top. So check it out. I still have 14.5 volts. So it is long-lasting, but it does suck up the juice, guys. And the fact is that I have the VTX set to that 500 milliwatts too. So that sucks up the power as well. So maybe set it back down to about 200 milliwatts. It'll save you a little bit of battery and suck up less juice. So that is just about it. We are getting down to the 14.4. I don't feel any sluggishness yet. And we've been flying over 3 minutes now. So if you just cruise very mildly, you will get more than 3 minutes of flight time. And so far, I'm not getting that sluggishness at all, just about. Maybe a tiny bit when I throttle up. But we are maintaining that 14.3. So, almost 4 minutes into the flight. I'm just going to go ahead and land this baby now. Yep, I think that is just about the battery life on this baby here. Yeah, you shouldn't drain out your battery too much. Okay, let me come a little bit closer, and hopefully I don't hit that throttle when I'm landing it too. Okay, there we go. Nicer landing. All right, just got done flying the VIFLY R220, and I have to say this baby here is a very stable flyer. I would have to recommend this for somebody who is starting off in acro and want to learn how to fly a racer, but don't want to get one of those fragile racers where you might make a mistake and you might hit branches, you might crash land. This one is made so solid, I don't think you can even break this thing. Top plate and bottom plate looks to be about 2 millimeters in thickness. The camera is recessed somewhat unless you hit a tree dead on from the front right in the middle. You might whack that camera right off, but other than that, look at the housing of the battery. This metal bracket to house the GoPro mount, that is tremendous in my opinion. And the VTX antenna is pretty low profile. You might whack it off, but it has a nice metal housing to protect it as well, so it's going to break off right here instead of ripping it off right here. So that's an additional protector for the VTX antenna. And this time around, I did run the Racer Star, what is it, the 5048 tri-bladed props. It did give me a little bit less jello than the given two-bladed props, the bullnose style props. So I think it was a little bit more efficient, a little bit more lift, but still this thing weighs a ton. So you are not able to do very much acro maneuvers. It sucks the battery dry too fast. So this is a terrific quadcopter for a beginner acro wannabe flyer. So you can practice with this. It is very stable, it hovers very well, and it is very smooth in its flight characteristics. And you can practice your flips, a few of the maneuver turns and such without really damaging the quadcopter in case of a crash. So that is just about it for the VIFLY R220. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next time.